What is up, everybody? So, a little KLX300 update for you. This is really the first time I've ridden it since getting it back from the recall. If you don't know, certain 2026 models have a recall. One of the starter gears didn't get hardened correctly, didn't go through the proper heat treat process, and so apparently there's been enough issues, enough failures for them to have a recall. There may not have been any failures, and somehow they just realized that somebody maybe stamped off on a process that they shouldn't have stamped off on. So this is the first time I've ridden it since that, so I'm kind of wanting to ride it around and let it sit, make sure I don't have any leaks, because they do have to take the left side engine case off. And then also I'm testing out this little mini rally tower / cell phone holder. It's not really meant so much for wind protection, although height wise I'm 5'7", and going down the highway you can tell that the wind just misses the chin of the helmet and hits you just at the base of the neck, so it's doing a little something. The main reason was to get the phone out there, kind of in that rally tower position. So I'll stop here in a minute and have a little better in-depth look at that thing. This is the first ride with it. I literally just bolted it on there. I kind of teased it in one of the Facebook groups that I was working on something, and in my very first KLX video I mentioned how I didn't want to go like crazy rally tower or anything, and but this thing is mounted with weld nuts, so I can take it off with 3 screws, and I don't have to take the whole headlight assembly off and try to get the nuts off the back or nothing. So super convenient. If I'm gonna go ride single track, I can just, like I said, just a couple seconds with an Allen key, and I can pop it off, leave the weld nuts in the factory headlight plastics, and take off down, load it in the back of the truck, go ride single track. So just trying to get an idea for how it's going to work, and hopefully it ain't going to break. And Lowe's only had one pack of 1024 bolts in stainless that I needed, and these are not those, so got to get some of those so that way they'll be a little shorter and these bolts won't be hanging way out there. Let's see if I can pull over right after this water crossing and show you what we got. So there she is from the front. It's 3D printed, so it's not like the world's greatest thing, but anyway, I designed it in Tinkercad. So if you don't know what Tinkercad is, it's just a super basic. It's really meant for like elementary school children to get into CAD modeling. And like I said, I'm sitting on 3 weld nuts. You can see if we can get in here where you can see them from the back. Rubber 1024 weld nuts. And again, the main purpose was to get the phone up here in front of me. I had a split train of thought there. I can't remember where I was going. As far as rigidity, because somebody asked in the Facebook group if this housing would be strong enough to support the weight. If you put something heavy like a GPS up here, probably not, but the 3D printed part is very stiff. All the movement that you see from the cockpit is happening in the housing, but the housing is literally mounted on rubber everywhere. So if you never had this off, it sits on the 2 posts in rubber grommets. I don't know if I can get where you can see it right here. So of course the bottom can move around and push it, move with my finger, so it's obviously going to move at the bottom. And then the, in my case, white plastic is screwed into this plastic piece. So there's a lot going on there, and I'm pretty sure it's it's meant to wiggle and give and be a little flexible. So all the flopping around you see at real low RPM before the engine smooths out is really just coming from the factory headlight cover, but I certainly don't think it's going to snap or break. You'd have to crash or something, in which case it's $50 on Rocky Mountain ATV to replace the factory headlight cowl. And I've got a two-piece design here, obviously, so I can reprint this at a different angle and kind of adjust and play with it if I need to. I have went ahead and put the CAD model into Maker World. The one I uploaded there does not have the mount holes for the cell phone. I have an iPhone 16 and I have a generic like Walmart case, so I did the geometry specifically to fit my phone in my case. And then if I ever upgrade phones, I can just reprint that piece and go from there. And if this whole thing doesn't last or cracks or something, I can reprint out of a different material, or I can just simply go to PCBWay or find somebody that's got resin printer capabilities, drop them the file, and I can have it resin printed in nylon or some other material that'll be way stronger. So I got options in the event it don't work. This is PETG. PETG is UV resistant, so it's the proper material for this on the low end. You can definitely find better materials, but this is like minimum requirement would be PETG. We'll try to pick up the pace a little bit on the way back out of here just to see how much flopping around this thing does. It's really not bad. Again, it's all the flex in the headlight cowling, cover. And again, if you take that headlight cowling off, the back side of it has molded in like gussets and stuff everywhere. I think it's going to be fine to flop around like that. Again, it's just an iPhone 16, so it's not the most amount of weight in the world. The only thing that may be a problem is I left a slot in the bottom for the charging cord to plug in when I get a charger wired up on the bike, and it may be a little tight to fit in between there. I may have to adjust that angle. I may put some washers between the rally tower, we'll call it, and the rubber well nuts to space the top out just a hair. Right now, the whole goal was to get it pretty much vertical. So if you stand back and look at the bike, the front of the screen was meant to be pretty much vertical. And I'd say I pretty much nailed it. Looks like it's leaning to the left, but the ground's going downhill from right to left too. So it just seems that way because you only got one shoe on.
Slightly downhill?
And slanting left.
No, it just seems that way because you only got one shoe on.
And I didn't print it as rigid as I could, so if it fails on me, the first thing I'll do is reprint out of PETG with higher infill. I only printed 25% infill, and I think I only did 3 wall loops. So for anybody that knows anything about 3D printing, that's what I did. So anyway, first little bit of showing that off. I'm sure from every video here on out that someone watches of mine that hasn't watched this video, they'll ask about that. So I just want to jump the gun and put this video out first. also have the IMS 3.8 gallon tank. Oh, according to check engine light. It's the first time I've seen one of those. I do believe that is probably from oil starvation. I saw another post where somebody with the Supermoto version said that if they walk a wheelie long enough, they get the check engine light. I, however, that's the first time I've seen it. I'm guessing that's what it is. I have plenty enough gas in the tank that it shouldn't have been any kind of it shouldn't be anything to do with what's the word I'm looking for, the fuel system. Like I shouldn't have sucked any air or anything and had a registered misfire. But they also, like I said, just had the cover off, replacing that starter gear, so it's possible that a wire didn't get plugged back together good. So luckily I'm not far from home. I'll go diagnose that. I actually think I'm gonna turn right here and cycle the key. I do not know if cycling the key will make a difference. It did. The other thing I've done that shouldn't matter is I've also blocked off the pair valve. I didn't delete it entirely. Everything's still connected and hooked up. I just took my lathe, machined a small aluminum pin essentially, and threaded it so I could screw a bolt into it halfway and pull it back out of the hose, and then just blocked the hose. It's the poor man's way to do it. That I've ridden with for a number of miles, so that shouldn't be causing the check engine light. I'm guessing it was a oil pressure light. And I also need to double check the oil, because when they did their work to it, they could have very easily, I assume they probably had to drain the oil out of it, so we might be a little lower on oil than we want to be. I doubt they leaned it over on the ground and took all that apart so that they wouldn't have to dump the oil. So anyway, that carried on way too long. But if you're interested and you know anything about 3D printing, like I said, it's on Maker World. I don't know if it's live yet. I literally uploaded it 2 hours ago to Maker World, and that's the first time I've ever uploaded a print file on there or a CAD model on there. So I have no idea. It was printed on a P1S, or an H2S. So it's a very large printer. If you want to print it on the P1S, you have to slice like 3 millimeters off on the lower part where it screws into the headlight, the little point. You got to slice the tip of that point off, just like 2 or 3 millimeters, and then the Bamboo software, the slicer software, says it'll fit inside the print bounds of a P1S, which is 256 millimeters cubed. So also I think that's the size of the A1. So I tried to make it, where other people would hopefully be able to use it if they wanted. So I'll catch y'all on the next one.